Hi there, boys and girls. Are you ready for story time today? Today we're going to read The Digging-est Dog by Al Perkins, illustrated by Eric Gurney. I was the saddest dog you could ever see. Sad because no one wanted me. The pet shop window was my jail. The sign behind me said for sale. I always feel sad for the animals at the pet store. I want to take them all home. I was tied to a bare, hard floor of stone. I could not even dig for a bone. I was living all of my life alone. A dog that no one wanted to own. So sad. And then, one day at 4:30, Sammy Brown came in the door. Sam took one look at me and cried, "Why are you tied up here inside?" I've always wanted a dog like you, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll take you out to the farm with me. You'll play outdoors where you should be. I felt as happy as a pup when Sam paid the man and picked me up. He rubbed my ears, he scratched my head. "I think I'll call you Duke," he said. The dog looks so happy to be going home. Sam gave me a collar. He gave me a lead. We left that shop at tremendous speed. He's ready to go. We went a long way out of town. We came to the farm of Sammy Brown. It was the nicest place I'd ever seen. A pretty white house in a field of green, and in the shade of the apple tree, a special doghouse was just for me. Remember, if you have your dog outside, you need a doghouse. You can put some hay inside to keep them warm in the wintertime. Next morning, while Sam did his chores, he let me run and play outdoors. I'd never played outdoors before. I'd always lived on that hard floor. I'd never run on nice soft grass. Now I barked with joy as I ran around. Nice soft grass. Sam looked at me and scratched his head. "Duke, you need some friends," he said. He blew his whistle. He blew a blast, and many dogs came running fast. You need some friends to play with. I'd never met a dog before. Now I was meeting 6 or more. They walked around and looked at me. They looked me over carefully. Then at last I heard them say, "He's one of us. He'll be okay." One dog, who wasn't very big, suddenly began to dig. The others started digging too. But that was something I could not do. I'd never learned to dig in that store. How could I, on that hard stone floor? I tried to dig, but alas, I couldn't. I wiggled my paws just wouldn't. I fell on my ear, I fell on my face, I fell on myself, all over the place. Oh dear, he hadn't learned how to dig. The others said, Duke may be big, but he's no good. He cannot dig. They stuck their noses in the air, and they walked away. They left me there. He doesn't know how to dig, so those other dogs don't want to play with him. I'll teach you, Duke, cried Sammy Brown. I'll show you how to dig deep down. He crouched beside me with his hand. He dug a hole in a pile of sand. I tried too, but still I couldn't. I wiggled my paws just wouldn't. I had never learned to dig in that store. How could I on that hard stone floor? Sammy sighed. I almost cried. My eyes and my nose were full of dirt. My paws and claws and elbows hurt. I had a pain across my back. I knew I'd never get the knack. You'll never learn how to dig. Poor Duke. Sam felt sad, and I felt bad. If only I could make him glad. We both knew I'd never get it right. Sam and I couldn't sleep that night. Sometimes it's hard to sleep when you're upset, when something's bothering you. So, when the sun rose in the sky, I thought I'd give it one more try. I wiggled one paw. I saw it could. I wiggled the other. I saw it would. I could dig with my paws. I could dig with my claws. I felt no pain across my back. I knew, at last, I had the knack. He could do it. Look at that. He tried again. Some things are hard to do. You just have to try again. Sammy Brown looked out at me. He saw me digging happily. Good for you, Duke, Sammy cried. I knew you'd do it if you tried. So I dug farther. I dug faster. I dug and dug and dug to please my master. Look, he dug up a little mouse. I dug up grass, I dug up weeds, I dug up daisies, I dug up seeds. I dug up the fence, I dug up the gates, I dug up the garden of Mrs. Thwaites. Now he's digging lots. I dug up the rooster, I dug up the hens, I dug up the sheep and the pigs in their pens. I dug and dug, I couldn't stop. I dug up the barber in his shop. I dug up Mr. Rodney Thayer, sitting in the barber's chair. I dug my way right through town. I dug a lot of buildings down. I was having so much fun, I dug up Highway 81. Highway 81? That's just right here near Pond Creek. Maybe that's why it's so bumpy. Duke was digging down the highway. Probably. I came to a hill. I dug to the top. But all of a sudden, I had to stop. Right there in front of me, looking down, there stood my master, Sammy Brown. Sam didn't smile or pat my head. He only glared at me and said, I'm sending you back to that animal store. They'll tie you to that hard stone floor, and you'll never, never dig any more. Goodness, I think he might be in trouble. I think he was digging too much. I couldn't run. I couldn't hide. Dogs came at me from every side. And then suddenly I knew there was just one thing for me to do. Everybody's upset. I ran away from Sammy Brown. I dug a hole that went straight down. I left him standing up at the top. I dug and dug and dug and did not stop. He's going to dig straight down where nobody can get to him. How deep I dug, I could not tell, but soon I found I'd dug a well. He dug so far down into water. Mud and water up to my chin. What a fix I was now in. I started to sink. I started to yelp. Help! I yelped. Help! 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 I could hear them way above my head. I could hear every word they said. One dog growled. He wrecked our town. This serves him right. Just let him drown. But Sammy cried, Duke, you've been bad. You've made me sad instead of glad. But we're not going to let you die. We'll get you out. At least we'll try. Then at last, I heard him shout, Maybe we can pull you out. Slowly, slowly, down they came, each dog part of a long dog chain. I reached up, I touched a nose. I felt them lift me by my toes. Slowly, slowly, bit by bit, they dragged me up out of that pit. Look at the dogs all pulling together to get him up out of there. I thanked the dogs and Sammy Brown, and then I started back toward town. I knew I had to dig once more to fix things up as they were before. That's what I did. I dug back gates. I dug back the garden of Mrs. Thwaites. I dug back the roosters and the hens. I dug back all the pigs and their pens. I dug all day in the summer sun. I dug back Highway 81. I dug back everything in town, everything that I'd knocked down. He's fixing it, isn't he? Now it won't be so bumpy when you go to Enid. This Highway 81 is pretty bumpy. Today when I dig, well, I'm careful now. I'm useful too. Sam lets me plow. He'll never send me to that store or tie me up on a hard stone floor. My dog friends watch and wonder why they can't dig as well as I. He's digging up a field, just like the farmers would do with the tractor, plowing the field. The end. The Digging-est Dog. Hope you liked our story today. Maybe you'll remember it when you're driving to Enid on Highway 81. It's a bumpy road. All right, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.